YouTube? Siegfried Chulane here, and today I wanted to make a video about Genshin Impact versus Honkai Impact. However, before I make this video, I want to make it very clear that both games are very good and both games are worth playing. So this is not a you should play this game and not this game. My personal opinion, you should play both games. Now, if you are unaware of Genshin Impact, that is the current gacha game that is honestly, in my opinion, the first of its kind, where it's a gacha game that feels more like a AAA title and less like a cheap money grab. Um, Genshin Impact, if you are familiar with gacha games and the system they use, you realize that the most important thing about a gacha game is how free to play friendly is it. And I will say Genshin Impact is extremely free to play friendly. You can play this game without ever spending a dollar as long as you're conservative about what you want and you know what you're going to save for. We usually know months in advance of what's going to be coming, so we can usually be aware of the save. And even if the character doesn't come at the time we expect it, we do know that that character is going to come. So definitely an advantage of both of these games is that you know the character is going to come, and we're going to get more into the pity system as we play this, as we go through the comparisons. So if you are unaware of the two games, Genshin is simply a exploratory game with characters that you would then use in-game currency that you can buy for real money to summon. Honkai Impact is a little bit more, I feel, of an adventure game, a sci-fi, futuristic sci-fi adventure game, which follows the same system of paying in-game currency that you can earn in-game or pay with real money to play these characters. With that said, let's go ahead and get into the very first set of comparisons. So I made a list here of comparisons, and I'm going to go through this list a bit at a time. Now, as you can see, I put the winner at the top of each category. The first category we have is story. Okay. Now, hands down, Honkai wins in story, and we're going to talk about that right now. The first part of story is always plot development. How does the story move along? Honkai has a much more direct story that I feel is easier to follow and understand. You know what's happening. It's the main point of the story is what's occurring. In Honkai, you are following this one story even when you are playing different characters. They're all going down the same path, just at different parts of the trail, right? It's like a trail with, I guess, let's say path. It's like a trail with 5 different paths, but they're all going down the same trail and they're all going to hit the same end. So when you play through Honkai, that is what you deal with. It's a very thick and rich story. Honkai has an amazing story. Uh, we're going to get to its fatal flaw at the end, and I'm going to talk a lot about that. But its story is just absolutely amazing, and in my opinion, worth playing the game alone. You can play the game and experience the story without having to summon any characters. And if you're worried about the gambling aspect, again, we'll get to the pity system in a bit. The story is just worth playing through. I feel it's it's a AAA title. It's really a AAA game story on a mobile device. Now, Genshin, on the other hand, is a more thinner story. It's really thin. The main story is just very thin. That is usually instead followed by a lot of side stories that can build onto the main plot, but doesn't always build onto the main plot. Uh, Side stories that build on the main plot are Raiden's, Zhongli's, and Venti's. Barbara's doesn't really build on the main plot, and certain characters don't. Childs builds a little bit on the main plot, but not so much. But now we get to what's called character development, and this is, of course, the other important aspect of story. In Genshin, some characters are handled very well, or I should say are written very well, such as Venti and Zhongli. Both Venti and Zhongli are very likable characters. Um, their reasonings for what they do, just their personalities, they're very well written characters. I really like Venti, and his character. I don't really like his gameplay, and I really love Zhongli. Zhongli is my favorite character in the game. Other characters, such as Raiden and Child, sadly, are not written very well. Raiden, Raiden A is so disappointing to me because they've given her this ridiculous flaw that they did not need to give her. She has a ridiculous flaw. She did not have to have it, and that was. And I'm not going to go into it because it's a spoiler. Childs in the same way. Childs is a bad guy that they decided to want to make likable. So they have this bad guy, and now it's like, well, he's a likable bad guy. Now, the problem with Genshin is unlike Final Fantasy, or I'll get into it with Honkai in a bit, on Honkai, it's not that, depending on how you see them, they're good or bad. Childs is definitely working for the evil in the game. Yet they wanted to make him a likable character so people will play him, and he's just not written well. And the only time I've seen characters get some growth are, of course, with Raiden A, and that was because of how horribly written she was, how horribly she was written, as well as Childs, which can be the same said about him. Honkai, on the other hand, sees incredible growth through its characters. The first main character, the main character, Kiana, I really hated her. I hated her with passion. But one thing you'll notice is that the characters at the beginning of the game versus now are unrecognizable. They've grown and changed so much. But because you've seen their growth, you know who they are. It's not just in a way that doesn't make sense and is written poorly. It's written very well. Kiana is now one of my favorite characters. I love Kiana, and I think that she's went from that happy, annoying, stereotypical anime girl to a really well developed character. Another thing is that when you go into the different sides of the story in Honkai, in one side, this group is evil. But when you actually see it from a different coin, I guess you could say the different side of the coin, you can see what they're achieving. And while their means is not the best, they do have the same they have the same goal, which is the survival of humanity. And the thing is that this is very different from Genshin, where it's like this group is bad. There's it's just I hate to say it, but Genshin just does not have a good story. Genshin's story bores the hell out of me. The only I mean, Zhongli was great. His story was awesome. When you go into that war and he talks about the war, and you have the two people that go down with him, and when the girl has to learn the truth that of the person she'd been taught to praise and whatnot, it's a pretty good part of the story. But that's about it. Raiden's was disappointing. Um, they like just so much. Now let's go ahead and move on to music. Again, in this one, as you can see, Honkai is the winner when it comes to music. But both games do have incredible, amazing music. But here's where it is: background music. Genshin has much more amazing background music. And I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to play one of the Liyue themes real quick. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Once I can find it real quick, which one I want to look for. Give me a second here. I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. Should be. I honestly can't remember which one it is, to be honest. I had it on my phone and then I reset my phone and trying to remember which one it is. Is it going to be under this one? Here we go. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Another hook. I believe this is it. So this is honestly, this is an amazing song from Genshin, and it's probably my favorite song. So I'm going to load up, and then I'm going to play it real quick. When it decides to load up, which it's not doing right now. Let me try refreshing the page. Okay, we want nose right here. Check our volumes. Okay, here we go. Turn this down. So this is an amazing theme. I think that this is probably one of the most relaxing themes. I could literally go to sleep listening to this song and probably have the greatest sleep ever. When it comes to background music, Genshin just has a more relaxed feeling to it that makes you feel relaxed. It makes you it's a good way to just chill and unwind from a hard day. It's just, you hop in Genshin and you get on your characters and you just go and do some exploring to this music. It's great. And it's one of the best things I can do when I've had a stressful day is just hop on Genshin and just listen to the music. And if you're wondering what the name of the song is, by the way, if this is a song you're curious about, it's called Another Hopeful Tomorrow, is what it's called. So you can look that up. Now, Honkai's music, on the other hand, their background music is a lot more intense to inform you that this is a much more serious situation, and this is more for when you want to go kill things. So I'm gonna pop up some of their music real quick. Give me a second here. Is it this one? All right, here we go. Here's a good example. So you can tell it's a very, very intense thing. The other thing is the vocal music. Now, this is where Genshin really doesn't have much in the form of vocal music, and Honkai's vocal music is amazing. I mean, every single song fits the theme. Let me put on another one. Let me see. I'll find it real quick. Every single Honkai song fits. Here we go. This is Starfall. And these are all Chinese artists, actually, who sing in English. It's pretty incredible. What is reflected in my eyes? Now the moonlight in a starless midnight. The showers on the people passing by. One is so small when the world's so bright. Every step forward echoes a sigh. I reach out for the halo far up high. Deeply engrave my memories. Some were not forgotten indeed. Someone has come before is waiting me. Cause I remember all the tales. Written inside is grown no more freedom. I'll follow my heart is to believe. Crash against the barrier, hold the ground. Burning up pieces in the air, show that it's not fall. I want on tomorrow, yesterday. This spark will shine and never fade till the break of day. Deeply engraved my memories. Some are not forgotten indeed. Someone has gone before us waiting me. So I'm going to stop it there, but as you can see, Honkai has amazing vocal music, and that's honestly not even the best one. My personal favorite is Night Glow, followed by I can't remember the one, but it's for Everlasting Flame, and they are just. Let me see if I can find the name of it actually real quick. What is the Everlasting Flame? Moon Halo. They are just absolutely amazing songs. So again, this is why while Genshin and Honkai both have great BGMs, Genshin does not have that much when it comes to actual vocal music. Which gets us to our next part of the list, which is cutscenes. Again, this is another one where where Honkai wins because Genshin doesn't really have that much of cutscenes. And I'm just going to show a bit of their cutscenes for Genshin, really, versus Honkai's. So let me go ahead and actually put up the official video, and we'll make that big. Hop back over here. Where are you at? YouTube. Oh, I'm going to add it. Okay, let's just add YouTube real quick. Windows Capture, YouTube. There you go. So here is Raiden Shogun's. I hate when it does that. All right, here's Raiden Shogun's. And again, we're not going to show that much of it. Gotta resize it real quick. Here we go. I mean, it's in no way horrible. Don't get me wrong. It's not horrible, but when you see compared to Honkai, you'll see the differences. I mean, again, the background music is amazing in this game. I do love the background music in Genshin, and I don't want to underplay the background music. But as you can see, just like the actual scene is not that great. Now we're gonna go and display one of Honkai's, and I'm not gonna play the whole thing just because it's a major spoiler to play the whole thing. And that is going to be, it's called The Final Lesson, which is probably one of the best, to be fair, but I would like to show off pretty much, this is actually one of the first, and all of them are good. So this is Honkai. You'll see a major difference here. Already you can tell the animation is much better. It's only Japanese and Chinese. This is the Japanese version, but they do have subs. I'm gonna turn my camera off actually so you can see nothing. Honkai has been animated so well that they literally put on YouTube like little anime clips. Like short anime films. I mean, they could literally make an anime out of Honkai. That's how good the story is. And the cutscenes are like already there. The voice acting is already there. And I know they actually have a manga for it too. By the way, if you've been playing Genshin, you should recognize the girl with white hair. You see her in the very beginning of Genshin. Slightly different model, but a lot of models from Genshin come from Honkai, and hers definitely the unknown goddess. Has the same move sets and everything, as you can tell by the blocks. By the way, for anyone who doesn't know, Himeko, the red-haired girl, is such a boss. Man, like, if they bring her in Genshin in her this form, the Vermilion Knight form, I would probably, if I had the money, I would C6 her. Even if she's a 4-star, she'll replace every 5-star I ever had. And we're going to stop it here. So as you can see, the quality between Genshin and Honkai, when it comes to their cutscenes, is completely different. Honkai is absolutely amazingly animated. Genshin feels, to me, honestly, kind of dry. That's why I have to give cutscenes to Honkai. Now we're going to look at the gacha system. Now again, as you can see, Honkai wins this one, but to be perfectly honest, I honestly should. This is more closer to a tie. It depends on how you look at it. So when you take a look at the character banners are honestly exactly the same. It's 28,000 gems to get a guaranteed character in Honkai and 28,800 in Genshin. However, as you'll see down below, you get more monthly currency in game from Genshin than you do from Honkai. Also, Honkai does have Genshin does have a benefit that you do hit that 50-50 at 14,400, which does give you a chance to pull the unit. I was able to get Raiden on the 50-50. But Honkai has the benefit that you can better plan for that character. And you don't have to worry about getting, having to stop at the soft pity and hoping that you'll get that character or having to summon another 80 times. So I think Honkai is better for planning versus Genshin, but Genshin has that luck that can get you it much faster, which is pretty nice. The weapon banners is where we have a major difference, though. In Honkai, the weapon banners have 4 items that you really need to summon for, and they are the weapon with the 3 stigmatas, which is their equivalents of artifacts. However, on most characters, there are also artifacts that can be crafted or purchased for currency you get from converting other summonable 4-star stigmatas. All those, and it can also be that currency can be earned in game from doing the weekly events you have to do. So it is earnable in game. You actually can get the items to get the stigmatas without ever having to summon. Now, of course, the newest stigmatas do not come to the exchange shop, and we just got a list of new stigmatas that can be craftable, and it does take a long time to farm the materials. But if you farm the materials, it is completely free. A good example is Starchasm Nyx, who one of her sets is the Anasakizik. It's a pain to farm, but if you farm it up perfectly, you could get those 2 pieces for free. While they're not her best in slot, they're still really good for her. Now, some characters like Starchasm Nyx are very pay to win heavy, but other characters like the current one we just got, which is Flame Seon, she's not. There is a very, very good alternative to her, which is an easy free to play alternative, which consists of 2 pieces that you would trade for. However, were just in the battle pass. So I literally picked up one piece in the battle pass. They gave one piece away in an event, and again, these are summonable pieces that you would summon for. And then I just used the third piece was a crafted piece, so I just crafted that third piece. So Stark has Flame Scion is actually literally running. Her stigmatas are free, and I got her weapon. Now, if you have the worst luck possible, it is going to take you around 56,000 gems to get her weapon. But in that 56,000 gems, you're getting her weapon and all three of her stigmatas, which makes that character completely busted. I have all of her short thunder stigmatas with her weapon, as well as your Emperor, and they are so good. They're absolutely amazing. They haven't even hit 80 yet, when you can actually upgrade their weapons for free. Now, Genshin is going to require you at hardpity 240 summons, which is 38,400. At first, you're like, okay, well this is less, it's better, right? It's like what, 18,000 less almost? It's about 18,000 less. But there's one major problem. Oh, I made a mistake here. This is one too many zeros. There's one major problem, and that is that in Genshin, you really need to get multiple copies of that weapon to get their max potential. And in certain cases, such as Engulfing Lightning, which if you see my other video, I'm very pissed off about, you need 3 copies before you can even hit the passive max boost. Like, you can't even hit the C0 and C1 max boost. It's not possible. You have to get 3 copies of that weapon, which means that if we're realistically looking at it, and you are always having to hit hard pity because you have the worst luck possible, you are looking at 3,840 times 6, which is 230,000 gems. That's to C6 that weapon. So if you're not worrying about C6ing R5ing a weapon, R5ing a weapon, it's only going to cost you that 38,400. But if you want to get copies of that weapon, just getting 2 copies is more than likely going to cost you more than getting the entire stigmata set from Honkai, along with the weapon. Now, the thing about Honkai is you only need 1 copy of the weapon. You don't need multiple copies because multiple copies don't do anything. 1 copy and done. There is no boosting the weapon. And what this means is that if you get lucky, for example, I got Starchasm Nyx's weapon on a very first single summon ticket, which we got for free. I just used it and got her weapon. It was probably my most epic summon ever. Like, I got her weapon before I got her. And then I got her. Oh my goodness. That was like, I had just dealt with year 3 anniversary Legends BS of not being able to get Gogeta, but pulling every other unit, getting the other 2 GT units I didn't care about, the 6 stars, and then I delete Legends, do a single summon, and boom, there's Starchasm Nyx, man. Best feeling ever, because I really wanted her. But the thing is that, even now, the weapon, while it has a lower drop chance than the 3 stigmata pieces, I believe. Actually, I think it has a higher one than yeah. The weapon actually has a higher one than the 3 stigmata pieces, but the 3 stigmata pieces, when put together, are technically higher. And the way the pity works when they first come out is every 50 you're guaranteed a new piece of the featured set that you do not have. So the 200 is if you literally pulled every single stigmata before the weapon. I got Flame Scion's weapon on summon number 30. The other difference is that in this game, weapons are 4 stars and 3 stars, and you're guaranteed a 4-star every 10 summons. And unlike Genshin, the 4 stars upgrade to 5 stars, and some of them even up to 6 stars depending on the weapon. However, whether they go to 4 or 6 stars does not change their chance of getting, 5 or 6 stars does not change your chance of getting them. The featured weapon has the highest rate, which usually are those ones that go to 6 stars, while the 5 stars have the lower rate, but they all drop at 10. This means that you're not having to get to 80 to get a weapon, to get the 5-star weapon. 10, you're likely to get one every 10, and you have a higher, it's still the highest rate of all the weapons. So Personally, I find the weapon banners way better in Honkai just because you have to only get one, you have a higher chance to get that one, and you're guaranteed a 4-star weapon or stigmata every multi, or 10 summons. Earnable income, however, is where Genshin beats Honkai. Genshin beats Honkai because in the end, I mean, you get about this is with the monthly pass because the monthly pass is only $5, and I feel if you're playing these games, you should get the monthly pass personally. The monthly pass is going to net you 300, a one-time 300 plus 150 a day, which is going to 90 a day, which would add it to the 60 dailies is 150 a day. That's 4,500 gems you earn with the monthly pass. You are going to earn relatively less without it because instead of that 150, you're only going to get 60 by the extra 90. It's $5 a month gives you over 2.5 more gems a day because you get to add that 300 in. Then, of course, you have the Abyss, which if you can perfectly clear all 12 floors, which is actually quite difficult and not always possible if you don't have specific units because you have a time limit, you could get another 1,200. So overall, you get a max of 6,000, which is going to give you a total of 37.5 wishes. So in about 2 months, you know, that's a guaranteed 5-star every 2 months. That's pretty good. As for, and that's without the battle pass. Battle pass is going to make that a guaranteed 5-star every 2 months. In Honkai, however, you're able to get about the 300 a day, or the 300 one time, then only 60 a day, but then 500 twice in that month. And then you also can earn a total of 360 from a boss battle that appears, another 310 4 times a month, and 800 4 times a month. This is about an estimate, as well as 40 a day from dailies. This is going to give you the equivalence of 8,740 or 31 wishes a month, meaning that Genshin technically gives you 6.5 more wishes a month or 13 wishes more every 2 months, which is about a multi every 2 months. That's actually quite a bit, to be honest. So Genshin does win here by 6 wishes a month. But overall, in the gacha system, I do feel that Honkai wins because I am, again, if you're going for trying to get the best character possible, which includes their weapons, where you're most likely going to get, most likely going to spend less in Honkai than you do in Genshin. Only one time have I pulled the weapon in Genshin in like a multi or two, and that was the staff of Homo, which I was already paid for, and I won the 50-50. Other than that, such as the Engulfing Lightning, took me 2 5-stars to finally get the third and get it. Multiple times. Right, Herrscher of Thunder's weapon, I got on the first 50 pity. Starchasm Nyx, the very first summon. Flame Scion, I got hers in 3 multis. Azir Emperor, I got hers in, I think, 4 or 5 multis. Almost every single weapon in that game that I needed, I get pretty quickly on because it has the highest drop chance of everything in that you can get. And the 5-star rating, by the way, is much higher. It's a 2% chance for the 5-star, I believe, versus the 0.6% chance. So you actually do have a higher chance to pull said 5-star in Honkai. But now we're going to come down to the fatal flaw, which is gameplay, and this is where Genshin wins. And this is honestly Honkai's very fatal flaw, and it's really sad because it's so bad it puts it behind Genshin in the end. Like if you look at every single one of these, Honkai has one, but this one flaw is what makes it lose. And simply put, Honkai is a mobile game. MiHoYo has not made a proper port of Honkai on PC. It pretty much lags in place like BlueStacks would. It's not a good port, and they've never even made a port for console. The controls in Honkai are so easily portable. You could port them. You have your movement, you have your menu, which is pause, you have your attack, your evade, your weapon skill, and your ultimate. 6 moves. Movement, start button, attack square, dodge X, ultimate triangle, weapon skills circle. Done. I know because I do play the port on PC and the controller works perfectly. The controller buttons work perfectly for it when it doesn't lag. and it's also very easily converted, ported for mouse, converted for mouse and controller. Sorry, mouse and keyboard. There's literally no reason that it has not been ported to console or a proper PC port, other than they don't think it will make enough money. And this is really what holds it back. Mobile games are not popular everywhere. Yes, mobile games are popular in Asia. I'm in Japan, dude. I see them all the time. And I've gotten more into mobile games since I moved to Japan because we're always on the train, we're always doing something, and it's a lot easier to pull your phone out and do something on your phone than to actually pull out a system like a PS Vita. And you can't do this when you're on a train and the train's moving. And then you sit down, you have to go through trying to ruffle through your bag to get it. It's just way easier to have your phone. It's there. It's convenient. And what's also sad is that the mobile app of Honkai doesn't even work with controller, which I wish it did. I would play it with controller all the time on my phone if it did, because I think it should. It's such a good game for a controller. There's no reason it doesn't work. Genshin, on the other hand, is a cross-console game that feels and plays like a AAA title that you would pay $60 for, and you can pick it up. I rarely play it on mobile. I play it on mobile when I'm picking it up to continue something I have to do before, like, for example, dailies finish, and I have to do it on the train. The only time I play Genshin on mobile is if I have to complete something before the day resets, and I'm not going to be home and able to do it on my computer. But the fact that I can bring it up on my phone and play it on my phone, and it is controller compatible on the phone, is really what makes Genshin, in the end, sadly the winner. And I say sadly, I mean, I love Genshin, but I have to say sadly because it's sad that there's such a major flaw of them deciding to make Honkai purely a mobile game instead of actually making it a real game. And people are less willing to try mobile games. Let's be honest. Asians are, but Westerners are less likely to try mobile games because mobile games tend to be greedy, cheap cash grabs. And Honkai Impact, in all honesty, has every potential to be a AAA title and be better than Genshin if they would just give it a proper port. But guys, again, this is my opinion. My advice, play both games. I mean, if you play Genshin and you go and you start playing Honkai, you're going to see so many things such as Raiden A, not Ball. Her name is not Ball. If you're calling her Ball, you're wrong. Her name is not Ball. Her name is Raiden. Her name is A. And it's that way because of Raiden Mei in Honkai. Her name is not Ball. If you're calling her Ball, you got it wrong. Just because Leaks named her Ball doesn't make her Ball. We don't call Zhongli Morax. We don't call Venti Barbados or whatever her name is, Baratos or whatever his name is. The fact is, Ball's not even in the game. Ball's never mentioned in the game. Her name is not Ball. It's Raiden. And her real name is A. And if you play Honkai, you'll realize she's Raiden Mei. 100%. She's a version of Raiden Mei that they literally directly copied it. The unknown goddess you'll know is Hersher of the Void. You'll recognize immediately. Dialuk is definitely a male version of Himeko. Again, 100%. I would like to see some things for Genshin. I would like to see some of the Honkai characters actually put in game as they are. I want to see a crossover. I want Vermilion Knight, Eclipse, Himeko in that game. Just because, again, Genshin plays so much better gameplay wise, control wise, because it's a console game. I would love to see some of the weapons. I mean, like in Honkai, you have scythes, you have giant crosses, you have guns, you have all these weapons, and I would love to see something other than book, bow, sword, great sword, and spear. I'll be honest, that gets boring after a while. It really does. So I am hoping to see, like, for me, if they bring Honkai to console and a proper port, I think it will win hands down, and I probably spend a lot more time playing Honkai than Genshin. As honestly, when it comes to endgame content, there comes a point when Genshin is just boring because you've explored everything, you've gotten everything, and chests don't respawn. If chests respawned like once a week or once a month, they respawn a certain amount every month, it would be more fun. In Honkai, there's so much things you can do that don't require the stamina system. And in Genshin, if you've pretty much explored everything, there's nothing you can do unless you have stamina. So hopefully MiHoYo will bring Honkai to console and give it a proper PC port. Hopefully Genshin will start to add certain things that Honkai has, which are other modes that makes the game a lot more enjoyable and gives you more to do. Now, currently there's a lot to do in Genshin because we just got the new island and it's a lot of fun and I'm loving it. But I know eventually it's going to go back to where I log in for about 30 minutes a day unless I really just want to explore. Anyway, guys, that's going to be the end of my video. Leave a comment. What do you think about the two games? If you play Genshin and Honkai, what do you think is the better game and why? And if there is one thing you could change about both games, what would you do? If you play Genshin but haven't played Honkai, why haven't you played Honkai? Is it because it's a mobile game? Are you willing to give it a try and see what it plays like? I can tell you right now, they have better anniversaries than we're seeing what it looks like Genshin is going to get. Honkai's last anniversary, the third anniversary, they got a free 5-star character. And I mean, of course, it wasn't one of the newer ones, but I would love to get a chance to just, hey, you know what? I'm missing Chi Chi. Just give me Chi Chi. Or I can pick a weapon. I'm going to pick that spear that I need for Zhao because I can't get it. That would be amazing. But we'll see coming up. The anniversary is coming up on the 28th. I am excited. I have, I hope, I have low expectations, but I hope it's really good. Again, I love Genshin. It's definitely one of my top favorite games. Honkai is one of my top favorite games. Right now, the three games I play are Honkai, Genshin, and Final Fantasy. And I probably pay more Genshin than anything else right now, just because there's so much exploring to do and I have a lot of fun with it. But I do have to be honest with my feelings when it comes between the two. And I hope that this doesn't make anybody not want to play the games. Both games are really good. Please try them both. And if you're going to play Honkai, avoid watching the animated cutscenes. They're full of spoilers. The one I showed, I made sure to cut off enough of it that it removes the spoiler. But if you watch all of the cutscenes, there's going to be so much spoilers. You're not going to understand what's going on. But you will before you should if you watch it before playing. With that said, guys, I hope you're all having a great day. Again, if you took part in the Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle account giveaway, that will be being the accounts will be given out in about 2 days. I will roll those out. With that said, Secret Lane signing out. Y'all have a great night.